Matt, yes, you've been there. I was just saying to Matt is that, well, first of all, guys, welcome to IQ session number 48. Look out. And I was educating Matt on the fact that he's started the wrong boot camp tonight, and we're almost at our 1 year anniversary of FBFM at home. Literally the 23rd of March will be our 1 year anniversary, which is very exciting. We're nearly there. And he's still not got a grasp of it. So God help us. We love you, Matt. We really do. Lucky he's handsome, huh? Not real bright, just handsome. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for IQ session number 48. And I'm super, super pumped because tonight we've got Mr. Dean Popplestone hosting. Tonight's called It's All in Your Head. It's all in the head. It's all in your head. Let's go with that one. He'll correct me in a second anyway when I allow him to be unmuted. But thank you guys so much as always for joining in and investing time into you. We love Dino. He is funny. Don't want to talk him up too much, but you'll get a laugh. You'll be able to relate. And he does go by the term the average man, but really he's not very average. He's above average for sure. We'll open up to questions and stuff at the end, but feel free to type in the chat box if you have any questions as we go. But I know that you'll learn a lot, and make sure you even have a notepad and pen handy. But I'm going to throw it over to Dean Popplestone. I've just asked you to unmute, good sir.
That's it. I'm unmuted.
There you
go. I've got a voice.
He does. It's all on you. Thank you so much for for giving us your time, and we're super excited to have you here.
It's my pleasure. It's let's just change view so I can actually see more people. That's better. Yeah, that's heaps better. That can be anybody's head, Shez, but probably stick to your own. Yeah, it's in your head tonight, so I am going to mess with your head a little bit, just a little bit, but on good terms, eh? I won't screw you up too much, I promise. It's good to be back. I love doing IQ sessions. It's great to be back on the screen again. So let's get kicked into it straight away. So if you think that you can, or you think that you can't, you're right. Now that little gem comes from Henry Ford. For those who haven't done the connection yet, he's the founder of the Ford Motor Company, which was way back in 1903. He founded that. Now, this is a guy that definitely knew that he could, because 5 years later, after he just started his company, he was one of the first to mass produce a vehicle. So 5 years, and he's already mass producing a vehicle, first one in the world, which is a Model T Ford. So you could have any color you wanted as long as it was black. So if you wanted the red one, it came in a nice shade of black. So 5 years. So there was a man that knew that he could, which is a really good example for us, especially when we live in a world where average is our new acceptable, where everybody gets a participation medal. You get a medal just for dragging your ass out of bed. So that's the world that we live in. So where they've become average is an acceptable norm, which is funny because none of us really accept it. You know, we still piss and moan about the positions that we're in, about how life is treating us. We moan about our work, about where we live, about what we drive, about the conditions that we live in. And it's funny that our average is our norm, but none of us like it. And there's a really good reason for that, because none of us were created to be average. That's why our body is capable of ridiculously stupid things. That's why we have people who can, who can climb the highest mountains, who can break the 2-hour barrier for a marathon, because we are not designed to be average. So David Goggins, he put it like this. And it's really good. And a few of you probably know David Goggins now. I know he's been posted up on the FBFM side a few times. And he says it like this. He goes, greatness is not something that we achieve once. It's a constant pursuit. So it's not something that we hit and then we stay. And look, we probably know people that have done that they've done their great moment, and then they think, oh, I'll just stay there because this is my great moment. And they just keep reliving that moment over and over and over and over again. That's their average, and that's where they stay, and they never really achieve again. And the satisfaction is just not there, because we're designed to constantly improve. So as kids, you know, we learn to walk, and then we learn to ride a bike, and then we learn to ride our bike fast. We take that bike over jumps. Maybe we learn to ride a motorbike, drive a car, and so on. We keep improving as we go. And it's funny when we hit adulthood, and then we're happy to stay. And then we find a point in life going, I think this is it. And then we hit our average road. Now, I am potentially going to mess with your heads a little bit, but what I want to say to start off with is you're not broken, right? You're not broken. And that goes for all of us. So none of us are actually broken. We are still whole. We are still awesome the way that we're made. All we need to change is some of the stuff we do. That's it. So we were made awesome. We just need to change some of the stuff that we do. So it's important for us to know that, and it's important for us to realize it, that we can just make a shift and we're on that pursuit. So instead of it's only a 1% shift, and that's what I was talking about in a couple of the promos there, that it's only a 1% shift that we need to make from going from the average to start into that pursuit of greatness. But it does take an effort. Another great quote that I know I posted up on the Average Man site was from a lady called Maya Angelou. I'm not 100% sure whether I pronounced the name right. And if I ever meet her, I'll apologize then. But she puts it like this. She puts it, we do the best that we can until we know better. Once we know better, do better. And it's a great thing, because you know what? The knowledge is out there for us. And these IQ sessions are a great testimony for that. You know, we heard Dr. Ben earlier on with the 3 things, and Matt last week speaking to us as well with some of the stuff that they were putting out there. The knowledge is great. But you know what? The knowledge needs a lover, which is action. And when those two get together, baby, change is made. So that's what we need. So when we know better, we need to do better. So what if I was to say that you already had the tools there? What if I was to say that it's only a slight shift that we need to make? As I said earlier, it's only a slight shift, that 1% shift to head us off into a different direction. Our brains, they do a great job. They keep us alive, okay? They do a great job. But sometimes they can be sneaky little buggers, and they don't tell us everything that we need to know. Because what they're designed to do is keep us safe, keep us warm. And the way they do that is they run a lot of default modes. Okay, so it operates in 2 areas. So our brains operate in 2 areas. So we have the conscious brain. This is what we decide what we're going to do. So we decide we're going to go to walk. That's our conscious decision. We go for a walk. Decide that we're going to pick up something different for tea. That's what we do. Okay, and then we have the unconscious brain. Now, this is where all our default modes run. So it runs our default systems. Now, a lot of these systems are really good, and we're probably better off to leave them as default systems, such as breathing. Our breathing is a default system. So our body just goes, I've got it, I'll take care of it. Because imagine if we had to decide that you had to breathe every single time. Now, some of us, we forget stuff. So you imagine that if Tan turns up to boot camp, they say, where's Dino? Oh, he didn't make it. He just forgot to breathe. It's a little bit sad, but he's always been forgetful. So let's leave that one on default. Imagine if we had to decide how we learn to eat every single time. That's another default mode that we do. A default mode is we just know how to eat. So every single meal we'd have to do the airplane. Here comes the airplane. Oh, I love the airplane. Isn't that every single time? So some of our default modes we need. Let's keep them as default. Let's not waste our brain power learning how to breathe every single time and chasing the airplane every single meal. Some of our default modes, let's take back. let's take back into our conscious. All right, there's a few there that we learn over time, excuse me, that we learn over time that are just habits that we form. And then our brain grabs that and goes, I know what I'm doing. I'll take care of it. Leave it with me. Have you ever had that feeling when you're driving home from work and you can't remember half the trip when you get home? You think, oh, crap, was I sleeping or what was I doing? What's happened is you've just gone into default mode. So you know you go left, you go right, dodge a dodgy dog at the corner of the street and into my driveway. That's your default mode. All right. That's what the brain does. It looks for patterns. It looks for patterns and it grabs hold of them. It looks for patterns in our behaviors and it grabs hold of them and runs them into default modes as well. These 1%ers are what are going to make the difference for us. Now, for example, when we look at elite sportsmen at that high level, the scale of or the depth of skill is very, very small. It's all quite close knit. Because their skill level's so high and the field's so small, it's actually really, really tight knit. So they're all fairly close in their skill level. It's the ones that'll find that 1% of difference that'll stand out. So like in Michael Jordan's, that stood out from the rest of the crowd because he found that 1%. For us to stand out from the crowds, it's that 1% that we need. All right, there are Michael Jordan moments. So this is what I want to explore today with you, is our 1% moment. So the way it works is we attach meanings to every single event that happens in our life. Okay, we attach meanings to this stuff. Last time I told a bit of a story. Some of you might have heard it about when I took the young fellow for a walk when he's only a little fella. He wasn't a big truckosaurus he is now. He's just a little tacker. And he wanted to ride his bike. He's learning to ride his bike. And I'll tell the story again quickly. So I said, yep, no worries. Grab Hannah. She went into the pram. She was pretty excited. So we took off. And you know what, to be honest, I at that stage, I really could have done with the exercise anyway. So I wasn't the lean unit I am now. That's for sure. How's that? Took myself up, blow a little bit of smoke up my own freckle. So anyway, so we took off. The main street of Cranbourne where we live, it's a bit of a downhill run. So just before we get to the start of this, I said to the boy, I said, okay, it's downhill run, son. Remember, keep your feet on the pedals. The brakes are on the pedals, so you just have to push back. And he did a couple of tests. I said, yep, you're sweet. Okay, so we get to the top of the hill. We start heading down. The boy gets a little bit of speed. So I'm thinking to myself, mate, he's just confident. That's cool. So I get a little bit of a jog up. And next thing, he just starts picking up this speed. And he is hooking it, fair him. This thing is getting smoke off and he is flying. I'm thinking, holy crap. He is hooking it. So now I've had to start getting a little bit more speed up. And then I hear the cry, Dad! And the feet are off the pedals and I'm hooking it myself. And now Hannah is bolt upright and she's got the white knuckles on the front of the pram. And we are flying. And then a little old lady steps out from the shop and the boy just about cleans her up. So all she sees is, Dad, boy. So in my mind, I'm just going, man, if I can just get to him, I can grab the back of his shirt and we'll be sweet. And I got close enough that I had my hand out like that over the back of his shirt. He got the wobbles on, bang, he's eating concrete. He's not happy. I'm never hopping on this bike ever again. No way, you'll never get me on this bike again. And thank you. Yeah, pitch invasion, $5,000 fine, done. So anyway, so while he's saying, I don't want to ever do this again, I hear a little voice from the pram saying, oh, Dad, can we do that again? I'm thinking, what the hell? So that's my interpretation of that collection of events. Noah's interpretation will be slightly different and be something like this. Boy, if you remember, you can change it later. His interpretation, we get to the top of the hill. Dad says, I can do it. So, yeah, all right. And, oh, man, this is a big hill. No, I've got it. I haven't got it. I'm in trouble. Dad, save me. Bang, he's on the ground and go, no, this is the worst experience I've ever had in my whole life. This is awful. two different views, one event. So two different perspectives. There's a third one. There's a little point size in the pram. So we get to the top there, we start going off, and she's looking at the birds and cards thinking this is awesome. And then she looks at Big Bro going, I think he wants a race. This is game on, I think. And then the son, what I thought was knuckles of fear, this is knuckles of excitement. She's on. Let's go. She's going, come on, Dad. Or something. Oh, we're off. Yes. Come on, Dad. We're going to get you. Boy, I'm hunting you down like the dog that you are. Come on. And so we're getting closer and closer, and she's getting excited, and bang, he goes down. So she counts that as a win. And she's going, yes, Dad, let's do that again. Woo. And she is pumped. That's the third version. So her version is excitement. And then we got the fourth version. Little old lady steps out of the shop. Some hooligan on a bike just about cleans her up. And no wonder the hooligan on the bike just about cleans her up, because look at her hoodlum, look at his hoodlum father with baby in the pram. How irresponsible that. What's this world coming to? 4 different views, 1 event. An event is just a collection of facts. That's what it is, until we attach a meaning to it. So my meaning was, man, this is going to make a great story one day. This is funny as. The boy's story was, this is one of the worst things that's happened ever. The girl's story was, that was awesome. I want to do it again. The old lady's story was, what's this world coming to? 4 different meanings. The way we process it, it goes like this. So some guy in a white coat, long time ago, white coat, clipboard, some super nerd who came up with these numbers. How he came up with them, who knows, but we'll use them anyway. Any given event, this is what they tell us. Any given event has 6 million or up to 6 million pieces of information. So anything from a boy on a bike to a fly flying past, okay? 6 million pieces of information. When we process these information, they go into a filter, okay? So it comes into a filter, and it's we sift out everything except for about 134 pieces of information. So we just grab the stuff that's relevant to us. That's the stuff that we want. Then we run it through our filter system. So our filter system consists of our beliefs, our values. I'll get this right. I've got the notes just down here. Our memories, our decisions, our attitudes, and that's about it. So that's our filtration system. So what we do is we delete anything that's not relevant to us. So we get rid of it. So it's gone. So we've got 134 bits of information. We have a look, and then we mold it to our filters. So to our beliefs and values and memories and decisions and attitudes. We mold that event to the way that we see it. That's why when you have an account of different events, there's 4 different views. There's 4 different perspectives of that, because now what's happened is we've distorted it so it makes sense to us. And we'll generalize stuff. Like we know what a bike looks like. We can imagine what a scream would sound like, and we generalize stuff as well. So that fits our system. Now what it's done is it's created what they call an internal representation. So our view of that's how, when we go, okay, that's what it means. This is our meaning to that event. Now it doesn't stop there, because through that meaning, it creates our state, our emotional state. It makes you think, man, this is going to be funny, terrifying, exciting, annoyed. Okay, 4 different views, 4 different states, and it gives our physiology, which my one was, I did have a bit of a smile on my face, because I thought, man, it's pretty funny. And the boy, he definitely didn't have a smile at that stage. He smiles about it now, but at that stage, no, he didn't. So that's his state. Out of that, we then move in to our physiology. So we're going to decide how our physical being is going to be. So whether we stand up tall, hunched over, we might be sad, and so on. And then we pop out our behavior. This is where we can alter it. Depending on what meaning we attach to these events will dictate what behavior comes out the bottom. So it's a lot to take in. We can leave the breathing to the default system. That's fine. We don't have to tackle that one. But when we have these events come up, it's actually our choice, whether we're conscious or unconscious. It's our choice what meaning gets attached to it. So this is where it makes a difference for us. Now, I know everybody on this call is not happy with average, because that's why they're at FBFM. That we want to improve ourselves. We want to do better than what we're doing now. So, and that's why we're doing the challenge, because we want to lift our game. The 1%er that can make the difference is being conscious of the meaning that we're going to attach to our events. The 1%er difference is having control of the behavior that shoots out the arse end of this system. There's your 1% difference. Where can we apply it? Returning up to boot camp. Just say on the very off chance, Matty's in one of his silly moods, one of his 100 burpee moods. All right, we walk in and we're going, man, boot camp's going to be hard. Matty's going, all right. I've got something for you today. What we got, peeps? And he shows us 100 burpees. We have a choice. What meaning we attach to it, as in, Matty, you suck and this is going to be hard. Or, yeah, game on, Matty. I'm going to give you 101 just to stick it up there. So we now have the choice which way we're going to go. And I'm sorry for boot camp tomorrow, because you're going to get 100 burpees, aren't you? We're going to test it out. But what a great way to test it. What attitude do we walk in with boot camp? Yeah, we're there because we want to change. What attitude are we going to walk in? Hard, this is going to be terrible? Or is it going to be one of, this is going to get me to my greatness? This is what I'm going to do. Our challenge is another one. Counting calories. Now, I tell you, in the first challenge of the first couple of weeks, I got sick and tired of eating cold meals because it took us so long to work out the damn food. You know, man, I just want to eat a freaking hot meal. But it was worth it. It was worth it. What meaning do we attach to some of the challenges that we face? You know, when we don't have a great day, what meaning do we attach to it? Do we attach defeat? Or do we attach a bit of a learning? So this is where our 1% can make a massive difference. Is if we're conscious about what meaning we attach, we're conscious about our behavior. Now, it also applies for the emotions that we choose. So the reality is, all of this is my responsibility. It's nobody else's. All of this, I'm accountable for. Nobody else. So if I'm angry, it's my choice to be angry. And it's my responsibility. So when we use the terms, and look, I know as mums and dads, look, I might have occasionally used this one before. Oh, you make me so angry. And the reality is, nobody can make us angry. We choose what we're going to do. Anger is a normal part of life. Sadness is a normal part of life. Happiness and joy is a normal part of life. It's what we choose to do with it. Now, I know it does mess with your head a fair bit, because some of the stuff you just want to let go and blame somebody else for, but it's our choice. We're accountable for what we do. And this is where the 1%ers come. This is where the 1%ers are going to make the change. A handy hint for the operation system of the brain. Okay. Right now, I don't want you to think about my bare ass, my naked freckle out in the breeze. Don't think about it. I can tell by the smiles that you're all thinking about it. You're all a bunch of dirty birds. Do not think about my bare freckle. First of all, you've got issues. Second of all, our brains do not process in the negative. So when we tell our brains don't do something, it's going to take a shortcut and it's going to go straight to my freckle. that's what it's going to do. So when we make a decision what to do it in the positive, right? Tell yourself you're going to get up for boot camp. Not, I hope I don't sleep in for boot camp, because you're giving your brain a directive to sleep in. So when I first heard of this, I must admit they did use a purple cat, but I just thought my freckle would be much funnier. And therapy will fix that anyway. That's fine. So remember, when we do these decisions, in the positive, not in the negative. Brain will not operate out of won'ts and don'ts. It'll take a shortcut. That's what it does. That's what it's designed to do. It'll take the shortcut. So in the positive, I'm getting up. In the positive, I'm going to make this work. In the positive, I will give you 100 burpees. In the positive is how we operate. And that's part of your 1% change as well. For these things to work, believe that you're whole. All right. You're whole, you're awesome. That's the way that we're made. Where our changes come is the things that we do. It's not that we're broken. It's just we need to change the things that we do. And it might just be a 1% change to go from average up to our greatness. And we've all got it. Whether we think we can or we can't, you're right. All good. I'm out.
Mic drop. You are the man, Mr. Popplestone. That's powerful. Thank you so much. First of all, for your time. Secondly, for your wisdom. You have a beautiful family, so I'm grateful that you chose to spend it with us. So very, very grateful. And awesome wise words. I love that, first of all, remembering that we're not broken, that we're whole.
So important. It's a massive important thing, because we're told too often there's something wrong with us.
Yeah.
That we're not quite right. And that's just a load of crap.
And, a few 1% shifts, or even just a 1% shift. Like, I love the analogy of using a golf course. If you do a 2 millimeter shift at the tee, it can make 100 meters of difference down the end of the fairway. And so it's just all these little 1% shifts that can help just go from, like you said, average to greatness. So it's awesome. Tanya's just logged on and said it's okay, we can start now. She's here. Thanks, Tan. Appreciate that.
Right, there was a guy called Henry Ford.
But guys, I just want to again thank you guys as well for investing your time tonight. Some more than others. Tanya, no. Does anyone have any questions? No,
that's cool. But you know what, Shez, I'm always going to be around anyway. I'm out and about. If you do want to talk about it more, I'm happy to talk about it more. That's for sure. Because it's such an in-depth and massive topic as well. If you want to know more, just grab me when you see me. That's cool. And
also, Dino is a brilliant life coach. There's more of what he does here tonight, and he does it even more in depth and personalized for you as well. He's got a really special offer at the moment for all of the FBFMers doing the challenge, that he's offering coaching sessions. Do you want to talk more about that, pretty please, so I don't give the false information? I can. So coaching sessions, I'm more than happy to offer it to all the challenges. So all the transformers for the duration of the challenge at half price. So a normal session, don't be scared by numbers, but a normal session will set you back about $150. All right. So 75 for a session. They go for an hour. And we can continue it on after the challenge is finished as well, which I'd take $50 off the price after the challenge as well. So you continue with some sort of discount out of that as well. So if you can, just message me or grab hold of me and we can sort it out. There's also the website if you want to jump on there, theaverageman.com.au. I've got to remember it.
That's what it is. I'm pretty sure there's no you on it. Always a professional.
But I just know that I've done life coaching. It was before Dino came about, but I can highly recommend that. It just helps just to streamline things and get you on the right track and just help kind of blow out the cobwebs, which is awesome. So for me, if I didn't go through life coaching, then FBFM wouldn't be what it is today, possibly wouldn't even be around. So that was a huge win for all of us, because we wouldn't be here. But I highly recommend hitting Dino up on that, which is awesome. But guys, thank you again for investing your time. Matt's looking at me saying he wants to say something.
And maybe they don't see it for them, but it could be for someone else.
Oh yeah, and if you, oh yeah, sorry, that was a great relationship challenge test. Matt actually bought me the life coaching sessions. Went down a treat when he first gave them to me.
Remember, Chaz, you're not broken.
She had some hang-ups. Let's put it that way. We've sorted that out, though. She's doing well. Good work, Grasshopper.
But yeah, went down real well. And Matt's like,
and just for those who have not really heard much about coaching before, it's not therapy.
No.
It is different from therapy. It's actually just bringing out of you what you've got and what you got to actually improve to where you want to go.
Yeah.
100%. So it's not because you're broken, it's because you want more. So it's not therapy. We're not here to tell you what to do.
No, exactly. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Please reach out to Dino. And I promise you won't, it'd be money well spent, and such a wise investment. I'm just making sure there's no other questions that I have missed. There you go. Gabs felt defeated today, but listening to this, she's changing the 1% outcome shift. So that's awesome. Amazing. Everyone's loved listening to it. That is all. But thank you guys again for investing. Next week is number 49, and it's being hosted by Liam, our physio friend, who's talking about how to avoid common gym injuries. So that's a good one too. And I think that's all I got for you. I think that's it. I can probably stop talking now. I could probably continue, but I could probably stop. Anyway, you guys rock. Have a sensational Thursday. Dean, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you.
Man. We love you, mate, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Have a good evening. Ciao, ciao.
Choo-choo.